Another day, another collab. We are getting very close to the start of training camp. We got a few more collabs in the books for you guys. What is up, fans? You see by the title, I have another collab, this time with my buddy Jason Sarney. If you don't know who Jason Sarney is, go follow him. He does a fantastic amount of great articles, breakdowns. He's a very big stat guy, and you'll see when we talk, he's really funny and a good friend of mine. So I had him on. We're talking Miami Dolphins football. I also have a special guest that we are going to be recording Friday, and that episode will be out Saturday. And a good portion, I'm not going to tell you who, but a very big portion of you guys have been wanting me and this person to do a collab for a long time. We finally got together and it's gonna happen. So hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully you guys watch it, give it a thumbs up, all that good stuff. Before we jump into what me and Jason have to talk about, I have to shout out today's sponsor. And that sponsor is Clean the World. Clean the World is a company organization put together by Sean Seipler, doing fantastic things for people in need. Essentially what he did was he realized a lot of soap was being wasted in hotels. So he went to the hotels and he was like, hey, listen, let me take this soap, take it, melt it down, clean it, repurpose it into these bars of soap and give them to people of need, third world countries, natural disaster victims, the homeless. And he started putting these kits together. You got the soap, you got shampoo, you got a toothbrush, you got socks, you got toothpaste on the bottom. Does fantastic things. My friend, love him to death. Go check him out. Cleantheworld.org. Link is in the description. Yeah, go support. He also has really nice soft merch. I have to it's called Clean Your Hands, Wash Your Hands. Got 2 shirts, soft as can be. So go check them out. Support if you can. Well, on that, let's get into what me and Jason have to talk about, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Like usual, stay classy. My friends up. We are doing collab 3 weeks, and you know I had to get my guy Jason Sarney on. Me and Jason go way back. Had to get him on. How you doing, Jason?
Doing well, my friend. Enjoying the hot summer months, but can't complain. Better than winter here up in the Northeast, right?
I want the winter. How hot is it by you? Because up here in North Jersey, I think today was like 97.
We're in that range, sir. We're right there. We're about like 95, 96.
I miss the 70s. Give me 70s with a cool breeze so I could sit on my porch, give me something nice. But yeah, I brought Jason on. I'm gonna pick his brain. If you want, so we're not talking about Tua, because me and Jason are part of a great podcast, Krantz's Corner, that's already out. We've given our full in-depth analysis on Tua. We're not talking about Tua. We talked about Tua too much. We're gonna talk about other things. And I'm going to pick your brain because Jason Sarney is very data-based, and that's also why I brought him on. So he's going to give us some insight there. And I want to talk to you about first kind of the team and your thought process, because I did a video a while back where I looked at who departed and who came in. And I said that the team got better, but there's still like the loss of Wilkins and Hunt are huge, but I think we kind of equaled out or maybe got a little bit better. What is your thoughts on who left in free agency and who came in? Do you think this team is better?
Is this team better is such a tough question when you just initially have to answer it. When you dissect it, different doesn't necessarily mean better or worse. I think they're going to be a little bit of a different look, both maybe offensively a little bit, mainly defensively. But when you look at who we are saying goodbye to, Robert Hunt, Christian Wilkins, Andrew Van Ginkel, Raekwon Davis, Brandon Jones, collectively, they're worth more than some countries in what they got for free agent dollars. So ultimately, I think that while it's tough to say goodbye, it's also like, you know what? We drafted, we developed, they got paid, we're getting comp picks. What are you guys going to do, front office, Brandon Shaw, Chris Greer, with the importing? We saw the exporting. What's going to be with the importing? And we look at a making up in aggregate, so to speak, of the loss of Christian Wilkins from a defensive tackle standpoint. There's a lot of Jags on the interior defensive line now. Doug and folks out there. A lot of Jags. Is someone going to step up and be a guy, like a real guy in this interior? Remains to be seen. The Calais Campbell edition is terrific. And you know what? I'm really interested in matching up Jordan Brooks with David Long Jr. David Long's in a contract year. You know, he's only been in Miami a hot minute. Was one of the best, if not the best, I believe, run coverage linebacker last year. So you bring in another thumper like Brooks, I'm excited to see. And Kendall Fuller, lockdown cover corner on the outside, terrific in really tight windows, one of the tops in the league as per one of those next-gen stats. So those are just really the tip of the iceberg of the new folks, and I'm very, very excited is too easy of a word. I'm eager to see what Anthony Weaver does with the defensive guys and, edge rush. We need that pass rush back, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Looking at the DTs that we brought in, all 4,000 of them, who jumps out to you? Because, like, to me, I'm very intrigued by Benito Jones coming back because I like what he did with Detroit. You know, but we have Gallimore, we have all these guys. Who out of that group that we brought in do you think could be a nice 1-2 punch with Sealer?
You know, I'm rooting for Benito Jones because he's coming back after he was an undrafted free agent guy who we all wanted to root for. And then he went to Detroit. But he's a guy who's that like 6'1", lower center of gravity, big guy. Look, he's not Vince Wilfork. But if you need a guy like that, he's a candidate in my mind that could really steal some snaps. So I'm going to circle him and agree with you there. The other guys, I'm literally just going to go with what I said. They're Jags. Let's see what happens when the pads come up.
Yeah, and you know, I talked to a few people, and they did bring up how the Baltimore Ravens kind of had that one guy that was the guy, and then they had like that rotation around him, which Anthony Weaver is probably going to do. I've asked a ton of people this, and I really want to get your opinion on it. A lot of times, to me, it takes about 4 weeks, whether it's a new offense, whether it's a new defense, to really gel and see how they are going to be for the rest of the season. But being that Anthony Weaver kind of is inheriting a defense with players that fit his scheme, and then he goes out and he gets players like Calais Campbell, like Brooks, like all these guys that also fit his style. Do you think it's going to take 4 weeks for us to really see what this defense is going to be, or do you think it's going to be the norm, and being that he's, you know, first time in Miami, it's going to take a hot minute?
I'm going to give you the best kind of metaphor and comparison and analogy I can think of. Imagine you have last year, before going into school, your teacher was the rough teacher in Vic Fangio. You knew it. You knew going into camp there's going to be a tough start of the school year. Maybe he knows what he's talking about, but the delivery, I don't know. Go through that. Tough. And then this year, you look at your schedule, and you're like, we got the cool teacher. This might be calculus, might be fun. And I think that when that happens, it doesn't take a middle of the season. It could take a week, 2 or 3 to gel. Especially the biggest X factor in the world is, I'm stealing something from you, Doug. I'm knocking on everything I can, you know. Jalen Ramsey, man, starting the season. If he could be used as that, wherever you need me, coach, I'm there. If you need me to guard the running back, I'll line up and guard the running back. That was not the case last year. Almost like a professor that didn't let you use the calculator. You had to figure it out your old school way. Anthony Weaver's going to say, I don't give a crap what you use. Just get me the results, dude. Let's go out. Let's bowl.
Yeah, and that you saw frustration from Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey was doing really well. You know, you had the 2 interception game, and then you had another interception game. And then you saw against the Jets when they let him move and follow Wilson and go. Now he's got a defense coordinator where, you know, you might have different play. He might be dropped back into safety at some point. Like the amalgamation and all the stuff that Anthony Weaver's going to bring to this defense is going to be crazy because he's learned from 3 different styles coaches who also kind of have the same style. Rex Ryan blitz, Wink Martindale blitz, and then McDonald blitz. But the way McDonald blitzed was different than Rex. So it's like he's learning all these different things. And the thing I like the most about Anthony Weaver, and I want your opinion on this, is that he's done this before. Everyone looks at his time in Houston and says, oh, he was garbage. but he's done it before, kind of like a Spagnuolo type where he was a head coach before and sucked, and now all of a sudden he's fantastic back with the Kansas City Chiefs. Do you think he's going to learn from that? Do you think that, or am I being too optimistic?
Not with the trajectory that he's created for himself.
Mhm.
There have been coordinators that were rumored to be in Miami who were great, regressed, good, regressed, but I think Weaver, say what you want about a year in Houston or whatever, but he coached up terrific players, good players to be great, great players to be phenomenal, on the line. So I do think that his progression says that your optimism is warranted and mine is matched.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully.
I mean, with this, it's such an antithesis of Vic Fangio. It's almost like the Seinfeld. If what you're doing is wrong, then the opposite must be right. So,
and he fits. He kind of fits what's going on with the team. With the people that are brought in. We have a good linebacker coach now. As the defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers, but when he was a linebacker coach, he was really good. We seem to set ourselves up for success, but we're Dolphin fans. So we're expecting, someone to pull the rug out from under us at some point. But for me, when I look at this team, the defense scares me because of the offense has been together for so long. Do you feel the same way? Do you feel that at some point the defense is going to cost us?
It's a great question. And I'll start with up front, which is I know what the importance of the trenches, and you lose Christian Wilkins, you lose Van Ginkel. You're not necessarily starting full-fledged with Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb. So where and who are the sacks coming from? And don't tell me it's going to be only Zach Sealer. I would love for him to continue that. But remember, 10 that he got last year was the first time an interior lineman got 10 in Miami Dolphins history. Christian Wilkins had 9.5. So already sliced that in half, and then you're also looking at 35 sacks that you have to make up from who you're saying goodbye to. So there's a lot of pressure on who's getting to the quarterback. I'm not concerned until I have to be concerned about the secondary. I'm enamored with this 3-3-5 kind of mechanism that I've seen. I love the 3 safety potential. You have 3 guys who I think could be extreme chess piece, including Jalen Ramsey. Throw Nick Needham in there at safety, and I'm really intrigued more so on the inside and outside of a cornerback role, Cam Smith. So those are my 3 guys who I'm looking to see what Anthony Weaver can do. And Vic Fangio, frankly, missed the ball on.
You think it was because of his stubbornness?
Ding, ding, ding. If we're watching Pee Wee Herman from back in the day, my house is blowing up going crazy. That's the word of the day. It's stubbornness, kids.
Yeah. He was set in his way. He didn't like blitzing, and I'm not going to blitz, and I know better than you, so I'm not going to do it. And some games were lost because of that. And, we like to talk about the Tennessee Titan game. And I think the Tennessee Titan game had kind of a domino effect when it came to that loss, because a lot of people want to pinpoint it, defense or this or that. I think it was like one thing after another is what caused us, because people forget about the Bradley Chubb throwing his helmet, giving him a first down, ended up giving him that, that first touchdown. There's the first domino. Then we can't get a first down. There's the second domino. And that it was just boom, 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 boom. Do you think it was Fangio with that game? Going back in time a little bit?
It was a team loss. The team lost
100%.
That game.
100%.
So his hands are dirty.
Yes.
For sure. How so? If I wanted to kind of go back in the fake time machine that we'll never get a chance to use, I would have wished he would have taken a different approach with rotating different guys in. Yes, I believe Eli Apple got a gifted interception or something, or was that the Buffalo game? I didn't love the way Eli Apple played in Tennessee and Buffalo at the end of the season, and he just kept him in. Why? Because he was the guy that he saw replace Jalen Ramsey, who was injured, and he didn't want to give anybody else a shot. Like, all right, I know him, bring him in, sure, whatever, great, he's my guy. I don't have to look at any of these other guys. And I think he was stubborn too long, particularly with Apple. And if Apple was a terrific player, he'd be coming into camp this year.
That's true. And he didn't want to give Cam Smith a shot. And the rumor is, and coming out of camp is, the other corners loved Cam Smith and loved what they saw out of Cam Smith. And now, this is what we're going to see. And being that training camp is coming up now, the vets are reporting next Tuesday, rookies next Tuesday, That's Tuesday after, and then open to the public on the 28th. My two guys that I'm intrigued to watch in camp is Brewer and Cam Smith, because these are guys that if they take that next step are really going to help this team. Who are guys that you're looking forward to watching in camp?
I cannot wait to watch Muhammad Kamara.
Mm.
I can't wait. And I was extremely thrilled when they drafted him. In fact, during the draft, I was actually a little remorseful when we drafted Chop Robinson because I publicly said goodbye to him. That's like winning the lottery and throwing away the ticket. We still drafted him. I said, all right, we drafted Chop. We're not going to see him anymore. So when we got him, it was almost like, re-pasting together that lottery ticket. If you merge together like a Cam Wake and a Brian Cox, I think that's the potential of what you could see eventually for Kamara. And if we see little bits of flurries and you throw in Shaq Barrett with tutelage, you got that similarity with Colorado State. I think he's going to be a trip to watch. And I would love, if I had one question that I could ask one player, if I was ever so lucky, I'd ask Muhammad Kamara if there's a reason why he chose number 50, because he was a 5th rounder.
Ooh.
That I need confirmation on that. Like, I need to know what Joe Rose did with the first touchdown ball Marino threw. I think he threw it away and no one even knew what happened with it. So that's my unsolved mystery.
Yeah, that's a good question, because I feel like the Mo Kamara pick was an Anthony Weaver running in, kicking the door down, being like, he's there. You got to get him. I'm surprised he's there. And he was surprised he was there. And that's the other thing. He's pissed. Yeah. When you have these draft picks, I wouldn't say most of the time, because you got, the Rosens who are like, I should have been number 1. And then you're like, well, you suck. And then now he's not in the NFL anymore. So it's like, sometimes being pissed doesn't benefit you, but these later round players, when they're like, oh yeah, they show up. And I would love for him, a lot of people want to talk about his height and everything. And he might be that guy. He might be that little speedster that's going to get after. We need him and Chop and Phillips. Those are the future to get after these quarterbacks and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. That's what they're there for, the speed and contain, and that's what we need. Last question I got for you is an important one. We're talking trenches, offensive line. Talking about Aaron Brewer on the inside. He still makes me a little uneasy. That's why I'm interested to see what he's going to do. I want to see if the sacks given up was an amalgamation of Tannehill and Levis, not more him, because you watch him against the Dolphins, he actually did really well against Christian Wilkins. What's your thoughts on the interior of the offensive line? Are you as uneasy as I am?
I'm uneasy. If I'm going ultimate optimist here, I'm in Butch Barry. We trust in McDaniel. We trust to figure it out. Meaning, number 1, figure out right guard. Because at this point, and I think we joked around about this last night on Cranch's Corner, that, you put a gun to our heads. I don't want to tell you who I think is going to play right guard, because I'm either going to be wrong or it's not the right guy, or we're going to probably see 3 people play it. So right guard, figure it out. Make sure it's solid, consistent, stay healthy, of course. And Brewer, waiting for a center since Mike Pouncey. And we've had little sprinkles with Connor Williams. But you know what? It would be really nice to find that guy for at least a couple of years to anchor it in the pivot. I'm still waiting for that homegrown again. The Tim Ruddys of the world, the Pounceys, like I mentioned. And that offensive line is a concern. And if for some reason they're able to pick up that 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, Doug, 15 rush attempts the entire freaking year in 2023 in those short yardage situations. It doesn't necessarily scream confidence in your 5 guys up front. So until we see that, my guys will beat your guys to pick up the yard when we need it the most. That's when it's like, let's go.
And, a lot of us wanted JPJ, but obviously he fell and fell and fell and fell. So, there was some concerns there, but, we haven't had a legit center on our team for like 4 years.
It's been this crush training. Like, it was cool to begin with. Wow, he could play 3 positions on the line. He's a swing guard. Okay, but give me the kid, right? Give me the kid whose dad taught him how to snap as a center and said, "This is what you're going to be in life." It's like the Blake Ferguson method. I'm going to teach you boys to be long snappers. Lo and behold, 2 Ferguson boys are long snappers.
There you go.
Give me a purebred.
They should take Ferguson and put him at snapper, put him at center.
Wow.
I don't know if he could. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's taking first base and saying go play second base right now.
But
with all due respect, I'm like,
thanks for stopping by. Where can people find your beautiful stuff?
Jason_Sarney at Twitter. Dolphins Talk, of course, with you on Cranch's Corner and here and there on Dolphins Wire and all Dolphins.
I'm going to give the people a little spoiler. Me and Jason got something in the works for the season. That's all I'm going to say. You might see Jason on this channel every Wednesday. I don't know. We'll see. But Jason, thank you so much for stopping by. I will talk to you very soon.
Love it, brother. Have a great one. See you soon.